What's up, everybody? Welcome to Brewed Opinions, episode 6. We are coming back at you after a little hiatus. We've been dealing with a few things here in the state of Florida. Hurricane Milton got us. He got us. And now KT
came in, bent us over, and didn't even take us to dinner first, did he?
Yeah, it's bad, but sorry we took a week off, but we had some shit we had to get taken care of. But we're back, baby. We are back.
We are back. The Jags won today.
KT's all in again. It's
Here's the Kool-Aid. It's getting poured in the glass. We're going on a run, baby. You know it.
Honestly, though,
No.
Today we won. They look good. They played the worst team in the league.
Outside of Carolina.
Is this just prolonging the inevitable? Did we save another week of Doug Peterson's job? Like, what does today even mean?
I don't know what it means in the grand scope of things, but like you said, dude, and you're always kind of more real with the Jaguars than I am. I always look at it with a fucking silver spoon and want to go, but they haven't, Doug hasn't lost the team.
Yeah, I mean, today, listen to Kenny, fucking got his Yahoo Fantasy Sports going off. This is amateur hour in here.
My bad.
But, the team goes down 10-0 today. A team that was giving up would have given up.
Away from home, 2 weeks
in London.
That's last week was a shit show.
Did Doug hasn't lost the team. I mean, this team would have folded if it was a bad locker room. So, I don't even know what to think's going on. They're 2-5. I mean, there's no, nothing's being pulled over my eye. Next week against Green Bay, they're probably going to get blown out.
It'll be a home game for Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's in Jacksonville, but it'll be a home game for Green Bay.
It's going to be so much green and yellow in that stadium.
But like you said, you saw the guys laughing. I mean, Cisco made that big knockdown play on the sideline. Doug's hugging him.
Everybody's hugging him. And
everyone's laughing. Everyone's having a good time. Not having a great time, but they seem relaxed for a team that's fucking down.
Well, I mean, at this point, what do you have to lose? Just go.
What are we?
Play.
2-5 now.
2-5.
2-5. And in 22,
we did make the ring.
In 22,
that's what Kenny.
In 22, what was our record?
2-6.
Well, the thing about me is I just for some reason under Doug, we have these up and down spells, and it doesn't mean anything about the future. But it's I can see this team. I'm not saying they're gonna make the playoffs, but I could see them stringing some games together this year.
Yeah, I mean,
they go on these runs, and then they go on these fucking fall off a cliff.
They've got the thing is, if I was gonna say that their schedule was easy,
it's a gauntlet,
but dude. It's Green Bay,
Philly.
I mean,
Sunday night, but that's gonna get flexed to 1 o'clock.
They're not gonna put the Jaguars on Sunday night.
Minnesota still, Detroit still, Minnesota at home, Detroit up in Detroit, and then 2 against Tennessee we have left down the stretch. They got 1 more against Houston, which we played Houston good. Yeah. I mean, you heard our rant about that with Doug's fucking mismanagement at the end of the game with clock stuff. But, and we got 1 more against Indy, which we've already beaten up there.
I'm not.
It is what it is. This season,
we are not going to waste a lot of time on this. We have accepted the fact that we are Jaguar fans. We've already know that. There are so many good things happening in our sporting world that we're not going to spend another fucking minute on this team.
Until they win next week.
You should have heard it. We're watching the game, and KT is literally oh, they're going to go on the run. They're going to go on the run. We did it. 2022, 2-6. We made the playoffs. I don't know, man. It is what it is.
I think it's just going to be an up and down roller coaster the rest of the season. I think we're going to win some games we don't expect to, and I think we're going to lose stupid games as well. That's what this is, and it will be the end of Doug and hopefully fucking Trent Baalke, because they just need to get someone in this building that I don't know. The football culture has to change.
Yeah,
that has to change.
The business culture is there. The football culture is shit.
Yeah, the owners just approved the stadium deal.
Yeah.
They got the approval from
Shad is knocking it out of the park when it comes to business.
Well, that's what he's good at.
Football?
He's not good at the football side of it.
Belichick.
We'll see. Yeah.
Not to be the coach.
No. I
President
think
of football operations.
they're close. Apparently, they have a close relationship. I mean, if that's the one guy I'm talking to, if I'm Shad Khan, is Belichick. Where do I go from here?
Belichick.
How do I fix this?
Belichick football operations. Bobby Slovic head coach.
Him or Ben Johnson in Detroit.
Yep. Someone that
Detroit
can
is so
design an
fucking
offense
good, dude.
to take advantage of your superstar quarterback that you are making run a ridiculous offense that doesn't suit
You've
him.
paid Trevor, so you have to now, everything's about Trevor at this point. And I know Trevor loves Doug, and he probably loves Trent, but, man,
Of course he loves Trent. $55 million. Boy.
yeah. Who wouldn't fucking love that, right?
I love Trent for the rest of my life if I was Trevor. But, we're not going to waste a lot of time. It was a win. Patriots are bottom 3 of the league. I mean, we're bottom 4 of the league, probably.
Yeah, we're right there.
Yeah, we're right there. But, I mean,
it was the battle of the number one draft pick today,
they look
wasn't
good.
it?
They handled business. They look good. I mean, it's, you could be a Carolina Panthers fan. They just brought Bryce Young back into the game. That's when you know you're at an all-time
It's terrible.
low.
Vegas they're coming back to reality. They traded probably the best player on the whole team next to Max Crosby, right?
Oh, yeah, and he already wants out. Look at that. Like, you go in, you bench Gardner, and now you go back to Gardner. I mean,
I don't know. Everything. Today was an awesome day, though, man. I mean, shit, look what you did on the little betting side.
A little 5-team parlay. That Bates field goal from the Lions was huge.
Jay was losing his.
It was huge.
It was huge. He was losing his shit when that guy made that. Yeah. We got him right in a row. The Green Bay kicked their game winner. Detroit kicked their game winner.
I had Lions on an individual.
And you're hoping the fucking Bengals can hold on against the Browns.
That got
and
scary.
who knows what's going to happen there?
No, they did. But I mean,
I know.
It's the Bates field goal. Not only, dude, single game bet against on the Lions. 5-team parlay with the Lions being the kicker. And Bates is my fantasy kicker. That was a big kick for me.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad little Sunday for you, was it?
It wasn't.
The Jaguars won.
Jaguars won, but it'll be a complete Sunday if we stay alive, baby.
Yeah.
Game 6 tonight in L.A. Since we've been on the pod, a lot of stuff has happened with the Mets. We haven't had a chance to talk about it.
What a run.
They are backs against the wall. The Magic tonight, Game 6, L.A., Sean Manaea. You got to go with Manaea because his left-handed pitching has neutralized Ohtani, neutralized Freeman, and neutralized Muncy. If you can get those 3 guys down, everybody else, Ohtani's had a field day with everybody else except Manaea. His arm angle coming from the left.
Yeah, this has been an explosive series on both ends. Both bats
It's been so seesaw, high scoring in opposite directions the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean,
all you can hope for is get Game 6 tonight and then Game 7. Anything can happen in a Game 7.
Anything can happen. All bets on the table. The Yankees are sitting there waiting.
Oh, we could have the Subway Series, or we can have what I think MLB really wants is Dodgers-Yanks.
Yeah.
Just because of the nostalgia.
MLB doesn't want to mess with that West Coast time frame with TV on the East Coast. You get the Yankees-Mets, that's golden. Yeah. That's golden. But trust me, they ain't going to be upset if Ohtani's in the World Series.
Oh, no. And that's what they need. They need their superstars in these big moment games. I mean, baseball doesn't have that a lot because your best player, Mike Trout's one of the best players I've ever seen play baseball, and nobody fucking sees him.
Never sniff the postseason.
Nobody sees him.
As long as he keeps playing for the Angels, he'll never play in the postseason.
Yep. And he's not a guy that's a rah-rah guy, look at me, so he doesn't – he does some ads, but – most common people don't know who the fuck he is if they saw him walking down the street, Yeah,
tonight's going to be huge. The Mets have stayed alive. They have done something incredible. Everything that's happening with them, backs against the wall. Right when you think nothing else can happen, it happens.
Yeah.
Everybody. Lindor is just on fire.
And that's when those runs happen in baseball. When you there's just something about what the Mets have going for them, that's just something you can't script, and that's something that just timely hits. Everything that they've been doing has just been unbelievable.
I honestly thought the magic was over. I was
you said it the other day.
They just can't. They're far beyond where everyone would thought they would be. But it's just they come up, and the other night they score 12 runs. It's like maybe they're not over. Like tonight's going to be. You're going to know in the first 3 innings if Manaya's got it and if they're going to survive this. And the problem with the Dodgers is they're so loaded. Like you cannot count them out at any minute. Like you're right. They get a 6-run lead. Next thing you know, guys are on base. Ohtani hits a home run. It's 3-run lead. It's like it's never over. That team is built with money. You know, it's so funny. Like Mookie Betts is like a secondary player for the Dodgers. I
forgot he's even on that team. I know he's on the team, but and they got Mookie.
When you're watching them play, you're like, okay, I got Ohtani. Oh, and then you're like, oh yeah, Mookie fucking Betts. Like, and then you're like, okay, then back down to Freeman, and then Muncy, and then a little guy by the name of Teoscar Hernandez. Like it doesn't end.
And then you know what's sick after that is if you guys do go to the World Series, you got Judge, Stanton, Soto. That's a fun fucking lineup to go against.
And I think the Mets are going to make a serious run at Soto next year.
That'd be awesome.
They need to. Yep. Like somebody's going to pay Soto a lot of money.
Yep.
A lot of money. And it's either going to be the Yankees, in my opinion, or the Mets.
Yeah. And you know your owner's not afraid to spend the money. No.
And he's actually going to be gaining money by getting Verlander and Scherzer off the books.
Yep. And now seeing what this team did, imagine just adding a piece.
Like this is all bonus. I mean, this is really bonus situation that the Mets are in right now. Mm-hmm. This is where everybody believed they would be, but after they started in May where they were absolutely dog shit.
Yeah, you couldn't even watch them in May.
Come back to here, and it's like, I mean, I just like what the Mets are doing. It's Marte has been on fire.
Marte,
4 for 5
remember
the other
when they
night?
got him, man, and I was just like, this guy's just a quality fucking guy you want in your lineup every day.
And you got
he makes
guys
timely
like
hits
defensively, like Tyrone Taylor having unbelievable timely defensive plays. He's not doing a whole lot at the plate, but then you got OMG Iglesias.
And the young guys have stepped up, like the guys from the farm.
Vientos. I mean, Vientos hitting the grand slam. Like, it is insane. These guys, everybody is stepping up. Everyone has stepped up in this run.
Isn't Alvarez, right, the catcher?
Alvarez has gone a little cold, but he is calling the games. He is managing that staff. He's got
that's all you need from your catcher.
Not only your starting pitchers, but this bullpen that's coming in. Garrett, I love Stanek. Stanek is my boy. Mullet Central. Just like the thing is you look at the Mets, they're built with a core of Dominican Hispanic players, and with the exception of Nimmo, Alonso, and then you have Stanek, who's this good old redneck coming in with the thing, and it's like, how does he even communicate with Alvarez? And it's like he just comes in and throws straight gas. And it's like, I love this guy.
I love this guy. Serve it up, boss.
Yeah,
serve it up.
Crash Davis job. Nope, just come on.
Throw it up, meat.
But yeah, tonight's a huge night. I mean, I'm going to be watching.
The baseball playoffs in general have just been unbelievable.
It's been great. I mean, even though the Yankees-Indians are over, like that series was great.
There was moments in those games.
The Indians blew it.
Yeah.
I won't call them Guardians. The Indians blew it.
Yeah.
I mean, they had their chances. The closer, wow, what a disappointment by the closer. I mean, he cost them 2 games in this series, and he has been.
And guess what? That's your only job.
And he has been lights out in this series, and he cost them 2 games, single-handedly cost them 2 games.
Yeah.
And he all season long he was shut down. I mean, it's
just the way it goes sometimes. Like you said, that lineup is fucking stupid. Judge is playing out of his ass. They're hitting home runs all like. It's just been really cool to see. I don't know. I didn't see it.
God, I hate the Chiefs, man. I'm done with the Chiefs, dude.
They're so fucking good, dude. Like they are the new Pats, man. They aren't going anywhere either. They're not going anywhere.
Brock Purdy.
And they even say it. Isn't like Mahomes after every game's like, we're not even playing good football right now. And they're 5-0. Like
fuck them, man. Fuck them. I can't stand them.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
I'm done with them. Like it's gotten to the point now where I'm just tired of them.
Oh yeah,
everybody.
Like I said, it's
the
just
Patriots.
Just like the Patriots, man. How much were we done with that bullshit? that sustained bullshit they had for 20
Brock
years.
Purdy, man.
Shanahan, he just never can win the big one.
These guys are, I don't know.
No, but yeah, with the Mets tonight, man, I know you're looking forward to that. I'll be watching too. It'll be awesome. Hopefully they get it done, push a Game 7. And like you said, anything happen in Game 7.
Anything happens tonight.
Yep.
Anything can happen tonight.
Get it done tonight. And the thing I love about the Mets is when you do watch them is like they just love playing with each other. Like they're having fun. I think that's where the magic comes from. Like,
oh yeah, when you watch the Mets, like even though they give up some runs, it's like there's no lead big enough that they're out of.
No,
like even so, but there's no tomorrow though. Like they're in this situation now where it's like you can't give up. Tonight, the first 3 innings are going to be the first run through the lineup. The first two runs through the lineup. Manaea has to be the best he's been all year, and he's been pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And tonight, he can't afford any hiccups. Hiccups.
Come out,
have to shut down that
with a
lineup.
plan.
You're a left-handed pitcher. You have to shut down Ohtani to start. Freeman's not playing. He's still dealing with the foot. Muncy is a damn dagger, dude. He is tough. But those right-handed bats, Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, and Kiki Hernandez, man. Like, this guy disappears. And then he automatically just shows up on the Dodgers roster and fucking hits a home run the other night. You're like, come on, really? Like, where do these guys exist? You don't do shit for like 3 years, and then you show up on the Dodgers roster out of nowhere, and you hit a home run.
And if they were to come to your team, they would be fucking so bad. It would piss you off every time they stepped up to the plate or on the field or anything that they do,
it's just these teams just find these people, man, that can only play. Like, he hasn't done shit, and he shows up in the postseason, and he's unbelievable. Yeah. I hate that. Why can't the Mets have somebody like that?
Hey, look at the run you guys are on, man.
I know.
Get the fuck over yourself.
I know. Hey, I'm a broken fan. What do you expect, dude?
Man, we are
I am trained to be broken.
We are so broken.
And it's like,
it's always
now, like, I
worst.
can't even enjoy this run. Like, it's like, I need to be enjoying this run, whether it ends tonight or not. Like, this is fun.
If it ends tonight, you're going to be like, I knew it. They weren't good enough.
I knew it back in May. Fuck them. When spring training start?
I don't even care about spring training.
Yeah. It's fun though, man. I can't wait to see tonight. We'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully they do it.
And hopefully they do push a Game 7. I know they always say rest is always good, but a lot of times in baseball, it seems like the team that gets a couple extra days to kind of come out cold, it breaks that rhythm.
Yeah, that's what happened in that first game. You could tell the Mets had sat for 3 or 4 days, and the Dodgers had to play Game 5 against the Padres, and they came out, and it kind of made them struggle a little bit. But then when they came back for Game 2, they laid it on them and 1-1. You took the game in L.A.
Yeah,
but they got to. I would have liked to see him try. I mean, they threw up a couple duds in New York. They got the last game. Would have been nice to get 2 out of 3 in New York and had this little 3-2 lead going to L.A. But comes down tonight. Let's see the magic. Let's see the magic.
This is what it always is about. I mean, I remember in the 90s when I was really, really into baseball when the Indians were, making their run, and every series was just so like. Those moments, those home runs at the end, the closer coming in and pitching.
It's October. October
it's
baseball.
Just unbelievable. It's why baseball is actually so good.
Baseball is the greatest sport there is. And I know a lot of people are going to give me shit on that, but baseball, yeah, the dog days of summer, a lot of people aren't watching, and I get it. But October baseball is as good as it gets.
It is.
It is never over. Momentum runs, home field advantages. Like,
turn the rally cap.
It is just it's never over until that last out.
So
even with the Mets, even when you're watching the Mets, dude, I am literally counting down outs because I know that it's like this isn't over until all 27 outs are had.
Yeah,
and the Mets are doing it to other people. Like it's not over until you get 27 outs,
right.
And that's what makes October baseball so
when you're
good.
Sitting there with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th and you're down 3 runs and Your boy gets up. You got
Yeah,
two on base, and all of a sudden the homer comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Hasn't
one
done anything.
swing.
One swing
One
of the
swing.
bat. Like I was watching the game the other night with the Indians and the Yankees, and the homeboy crushed that one. The one the Indians actually won.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Travis Fry. Yeah, that was so good.
well, the one before him, he hit that thing so hard he knew it. He threw the bat. It's like, that's the cool thing too. Is in baseball now is like these younger guys, they're not afraid to like show. The old baseball rules. You can't show up a pitcher. You can't be all that shit. These guys now are fucking hitting bombs and just fucking just strutting down first baseline.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, baseball pitchers have become such pussies now. Like, there's no more receipts. Like, back in the day, you wash that up. Guess what? You're taking one in the back next time up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, you ain't gonna fucking show
they
my
police it
pitcher up.
themselves. Now it's like,
I'm gonna
we're
show
all...
my pitcher up. I'll throw one right in your fucking between the numbers.
They would too.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that as long as it doesn't get up near the head.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with you guys policing themselves, clearing the benches. Let's show some emotion.
Fluffing them off the
I thought
plate.
it was going to happen the other night. The game 5, Mets and Dodgers got chippy when I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Pajas or Pagas or whatever, hit that home run, and he watched it go out as they were down 8-1. And Alvarez says, go run the fucking bases. Like,
that's fucking awesome.
And then when he came back, he was chirping on him. And if it wasn't a huge situation, the next time he got up, I thought he was going to. But trust me, the Mets are keeping that in their back pocket. And next year, that dude's going to get hit.
Yeah.
They're saving it. It's just like the old Chase Utley days when he injured Ruben Tejada. With the next season, Utley paid the price for it. And I'm sure everybody's seeing the audio with Terry Collins and the umpire. It is some of the greatest. If you never liked Terry Collins as a manager for the Mets, search on YouTube the video of when they threw at Chase Utley and he comes at the umpire talking about how Major League Baseball didn't do shit and we deserve to get that guy. And he's and if that guy, I got the goosebumps just thinking about it, dude,
awesome.
Because it is so good. And if that's not the guy you want managing your team, when he's like, Major League Baseball didn't do shit to that guy, so we're going to do it. And he tells it right to the umpire, and the umpire tosses Collins. But even the umpire is like, yeah, I know. Like, and he goes, that's our guy. He's going to take it. And that is some of the best audio that you will ever find. Search it on YouTube. Terry Collins, umpire, Chase Utley, you'll find it. And it is,
There's
you will never
nothing
respect.
better in baseball than when a manager's had enough or just needs a lot of fire under his team's ass and just goes out and throws a fucking temper tantrum. It's the
just gets out on
best.
Just gets out, And it's same thing happens in NBA basketball when you get that purposeful technical foul because you just need to fire your team up.
You need something.
You can't do that in football. You can't do that in any other sport. Like, you can go out there and get tossed in baseball to fire your team up. Yeah. You can go get a technical foul to fire your team up.
Yeah.
And you can't do that in any other sport.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so good, man. We got a little team coming here soon.
Orlando Magic. Wednesday night, baby. Magic and Heat.
Yeah. I fucking can't wait, dude.
Dude,
Paulo and the boys are ready to roll.
It is going to be... I mean, people are not giving the Magic a whole lot of credit this year.
That's all right. We'll stay under the
It's
radar.
okay. Yeah, it's actually probably better. But, like, the addition of Caldwell Pope, and I watched the preseason game the other night, and Christian De Silva, dude, I think he's going to really fit that role. And I just love what they could be. If they come out and play that intense defense that they're known for, and Caldwell Pope being a lockdown defender and being able to shoot the three is going to make this team, I think,
they just needed that one veteran piece that's like, and Caldwell Pope, I think, fits it perfect. He's not brought in to be a superstar. He's not brought in like, this is your team. We all know it's Paulo's team. It's Paulo's team. But just come in and be the glue guy. Be the guy who hits the three when it's your opportunity and play great defense. Because that's all. That's how they play. Like ever since the coach got there, like he's really like defense is everything. If we're not playing defense, and it showed last season. How many nights were we like, God, when they get away from their good defense, they fucking lose a game because they start trying to
when
play
they play
hero
lockdown
ball and
defense,
shit.
they can play with anybody in the league. Anybody in the league. I don't care who you say. You can anybody.
God,
You
I was
can
just
play.
drawing a blank on our coach's name.
Mosley.
Yeah. It just came to me, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I was sitting.
I thought it was
I
weird.
don't know if you could tell. I was like,
I thought it was
the
weird.
guy,
You
and
were
the guy, and the
like,
guy.
yeah, when our coach got there, and I'm like, huh?
And our coach got it. Who the fuck are you?
And I'm like, Mosley, come on, man, he's our boy.
Yeah.
But I think their starting five and their second team. There's so much depth on this team.
There's a ton
if you
of
look
depth.
at their G League, their two-way players, Jet Howard, Queen's probably going to be a two-way player again. And I don't know what they're going to do roster-wise.
And Logan was talking about how much Chet Howard developed last year.
He did. He looked good the other night. I watched him. I don't know where De Silva falls in or Gary Harris. Gary Harris is the wild card because now that Caldwell Pope is there, like Gary Harris now removed from the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Gary Harris or De Silva in the two.
I'm sure they'll start heavy with Gary Harris and let De Silva work.
But then,
into
like
it.
11 and 12, are they going to have Batazzi play G League as the third
Sure.
center
They'll probably.
and keep De Silva and Anthony Black as the 11 and 12 guy? Just for depth purposes. Batazzi was huge for us last year when Wendell Carter got hurt. He came in and played unbelievable minutes and even started some.
Yeah.
He
started to stretch
because
early.
Mo's better. Mo's better coming off the bench. Mo proved himself in the playoffs last year.
Mo's your energy center.
He's the guy. Cleveland hates Mo.
Yeah.
And that's the guy you need. He's the Bill Laimbeer.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Anthony Mason for Charles Oakley.
He's an instigator, comes in.
He's the guy, the Dennis Rodman. Maybe not quite Dennis Rodman, but he's the guy.
Yeah, we're not talking skill set wise, but just
talking about the guy that gets under your skin. And
when he's on,
you
he's
need
actually
him in the playoffs. He's the guy that you go on the road in the playoffs, and the fans fucking hate him.
Yeah,
and that's who you need. You need that dog on your team.
He sparked a couple games against the Cavs last year.
Oh, the first game 1 in Cleveland, they hated him so bad,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is who you need.
Yeah,
this is your guy. But I think the starting five. Let's talk about the starting five. I guess Suggs is going to be the point.
Yeah,
I'm going to guess.
It just dawned on me the other day that Fultz is gone.
Yeah,
he's not even signed to any team.
He'll get picked up somewhere. But I guess you're going to get Suggs, Caldwell Pope. You got Carter, Franz, and Paulo.
Yep.
That's pretty solid.
Solid.
And then your backup, you got Mo at center. You got Isaac.
Yep.
You got Cole Anthony.
Yep.
My question mark at the 2 is Gary Harris or De Silva. You start with Gary because a veteran, but Gary gets hurt a lot.
He does. And Anthony Black had a really good end of the year last year.
But Anthony Black, that's what I'm saying. I think Anthony Black is going to be on the roster, but he's going to be that 11, 12 person that doesn't play.
Do you work to I could see Anthony Black being the backup point and Cole Anthony going to the shooting guard. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's nice to have these
basketball
options.
Basketball is so positionless now too.
It's nice to have these options.
Right.
You really got some legit options.
And J.I. as a backup 4, and he can play the 5 against certain teams and everything.
Sure.
And last year, I don't care what anybody says outside of Suggs. J.I. played unbelievable defense last year. He should have been in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year.
He's just limited minutes.
He's just last year he was on a real heavy minute limit, but
I think
but he's all good going into this season, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't know until he gets hurt.
He's had problems with injuries too his whole.
But the good thing with the Magic that they have is they have so much depth. So if they want somebody to sit out, they've got guys like Queen who came in. They've got guys like Jet Howard now, Mac McClung. They've got these guys that can come and be efficient on your roster.
God, I'm drawing a blank again too. We drafted him 2
Jamal
years.
Mosley.
We drafted him 2 years ago. He had some big games last year. He's a 3-and-D guy. Caleb Houston.
Oh yeah, Houston. Oh God, I forgot about Houston. But he's in that second. He's on that second team. He's the guy that I keep drawing a blank on.
Yeah, Caleb Houston.
Yeah. So
he found a stroke last year from the 3-point line.
These are really good problems to have. We're not going to have Ingles anymore.
Right.
We're not going to have Fultz anymore. Those are 2 big losses. But I feel like De Silva is a guy that I think it's a Weltman guy. Length, width, wingspan, can shoot the three.
And you know what the best thing about like what Weltman and Hammond have done in Orlando is like when they like now that they've built the team to where it is like you don't have to rush to Silva. Like
No.
you don't have to let him find his way in his rookie year.
The team's so deep.
Right.
Yeah, I think like
Same thing with Jet Howard and the two and Anthony Black.
Like in an NBA season, you're going to have injuries, so it's nice to have all those opportunities of, if a guy gets hurt, okay, let's bring the next guy up.
Right.
Like, and you got Anthony. Like I said, Anthony Black. Even last year, he's kind of like the third point guard, who is that number. Like if you break down, you always have your first team, your second team, and then you have the 11 and 12 guy that are just there. They never play.
The best thing about our G League team too is it's right down the road. I mean, Lakeland is an hour down the road. I think it's a lot easier when you have that because some teams they're far away from the home
like
base.
Queen was back and forth a lot last year.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for Batazzi. Like he doesn't need to be on our roster to start. Like he can definitely be there if we have an injury because Wendell Carter will get hurt at some point.
Oh yeah.
Mo's pretty durable.
Mo's always around.
But I think.
But he's had some.
Did you see Batazzi with the full beard, dude? He looked great. He'd grow his hair out. He looks like a little caveman, man.
Nice.
But Wednesday night, man. Home opener is Friday night, but Wednesday night on the road in Miami. That'll be first test, right? They always open up against Miami.
I know,
but it'll be a big first test.
Hate the Heat.
I mean, that's our team. We got to get by. I mean, we handled them last year.
Oh yeah, we usually play them really well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if they play defense, man, they can compete with anybody.
Yep.
And if Paolo becomes the man, and Franz has to get back to his level.
Yeah, Franz can't be playing the way he played at the end
Franz
of last year.
in Cleveland last year, that series, oh my gosh. He was so bad.
That last game was a fucking joke. What was he, one of
And Mosley
15?
just kept him in.
I know. It's like it's not working today.
Yeah, just like sometimes you just got to cut your losses and be like, I'm going to go with someone else here.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to Franz. I don't know if he was hurt and we just... it was like not undisclosed because they have to disclose injuries, but like if he was really dealing with something. But I mean, Franz has been that way too, where there's games where he looks like he could be top 10 player in the NBA, and then he goes on runs where it's like.
See, I never saw that last year. I don't think he ever hit that stride last year. 2 years ago,
He'd have a game or two though where he gets put up 35 and
but
him and Paolo are going back and forth.
Whenever there was a big game. When they finally got televised on TNT or TBS, that night they retired Shaq's jersey, he was awful.
It was horrific.
And it was like, who is this dude? Like, every time there was a big game, and then it obviously showed. Every time there was a big game in the playoffs.
That last game last year, when nobody was doing anything, but Paulo, man, I was more impressed with Paulo in that game because he was trying to put the whole thing on his shoulders. And I mean, he was making shots that were fucking stupid. He was like, if you guys aren't going to do it, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And he just didn't get any help. And
I mean,
we're a young team.
That's the rub of the NBA, though. Like, remember last year when Cole Anthony went on a nice little 10-game run? And
don't have those.
And
that's what's nice about how the roster's built is like, when some guys go, everyone's going to go in a slump at some point in the season.
I remember last year, like the first team went in a slump, and then the second team came in and kept them in all those games. And when they went on that little run, but I saw the over/under win total was 43, which put them at number 8 in the East. I think they're better than that. I think they're a 50-win team.
They were better than that last year.
Yeah, like last year they were a couple wins away from being the 3 seed, and now they've added Caldwell Pope, which I think is a huge piece when it comes.
I think that's the biggest difference this year. I'm not saying they're going to.
It's the same team, dude.
I'm not saying they're going to win the NBA title this year.
No,
but a little bit better respect than fucking.
Yeah,
8
I mean,
seed.
I think they win a playoff series this year.
The thing is like we were talking the other day about it, like the East had a lot of moving parts this year with big names, so of course that's what that's what the national media is going to just lose their shit over.
The Knicks making the splash with Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
But they lose. But, yeah, they do that, but then they lose. They traded
DiVincenzo,
but not Jalen Brunson, but I can't even think of who they traded
I know
for.
you're talking
I'm going
about.
blind. But it's like, okay, you replace what with what?
Right.
It's not like a huge point differential between the two. Why am I drawing a blank on who they traded him for? Wow.
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, yeah. Like, him and Karl Anthony Towns, are they that different of players?
But DiVincenzo was a huge
three-pointer. Yeah,
thing off the bench for them.
He killed the Magic every time we played, even though we dominated the Knicks last year. We won 3 of 4 last year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. We matched up good last year against all the teams. We played Boston good all year. Mm-hmm. I mean, Boston's going to be fucking probably unbelievable. They're the ones that the teams that's just the team.
You know the teams that the Magic struggle with on a continual basis? The Hawks, which is such a joke. The 76ers and the Wizards. Those 3 teams are like, we should be dominating the Wizards.
Right.
And for some reason, we struggle with them.
I know.
Like, the Hawks are like a pain in the side.
Do you think every fan base, like across all sports, you have these teams, whether they're good or just the worst team in the league, like, well, go into that game, your team is just gonna.
They're playing those teams 4 times,
right?
So it's like the Hawks are one of those teams, like, it just Trae Young. You just can't. He needs to shave his head, first of all. He's going bald. Yeah. Just shave your head. But it's like, I just can't. I get so upset when it comes to that stuff, man. It's just like, go handle your business, and then but there's familiarity there. Like, they're used to it. They know everybody's tendencies. You're playing them 4 times a year.
You'll go out and beat Boston one night, and then you got the Wizards next game with the Hawks, and you look like you didn't even show the fuck up.
And it's, teams like that just drive me crazy when it comes to, like, these games that you feel like you should dominate and you don't.
And we always say that too about, being Magic fans. It's like, if someone's in a shooting slump for the team we're playing that night, it is like, they are gonna break it.
Orlando.
They're gonna break it. Come to Orlando.
This guy's made 3 threes all season, and tonight he's 8 for 8. And you're like, what?
Hasn't made a 3-pointer since January, and it's in April. And tonight he's fucking 15 of 15 or something.
Yeah, he hasn't missed all night, and it's like,
I never.
How come everybody else can shoot in the Kia Center except the Magic? It's like the greatest shooting arena on the planet, but the Magic can't shoot there.
Sometimes it's like that, man. I swear to God, it is. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about the Magic season. Like, I love it just because there's games, every night, every other night, basically. Yeah. I mean, you can tune in at 7. Game's over by 9 unless they're on a West Coast swing.
Yeah, I hate the West Coast.
Yeah, because I'm not staying up till fucking midnight to watch the end of the game. But 7:15 kickoff.
It's perfect.
It's the best. You're done by 9:30.
Yeah, all the Magic games are always at 7. All the other East Coast games are at 7:30. It's weird. Yeah. But the Magic games are at 7.
Yeah, and you're done.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, you're like, all right, I can go to bed.
Yeah.
Get a good night's sleep.
Yeah. Watch a little post game. Dante Marchitelli.
Yeah.
Brian Hill.
I love the Magic coverage.
I was talking to my wife about this the other night. We were watching the game, the preseason game, and it was like, I can't believe that Steele is still doing it. Day 1, dude.
Isn't it going to be weird when he's that? Well, they've started.
Well, he doesn't travel on the road. Yeah, he kind of did on the run last year.
Marchitelli does the games.
Yeah,
right.
But it's like, dude, he's been day 1, the voice of the Magic. Like,
him and Turner, like, they've just.
Yeah, well, Turner hasn't been there the whole time, but
right.
like he's been there. Yeah, but that's a duo.
So long now. I mean,
yeah. But I mean, Steele's been there since day 1, man. 1989, 88.
Yeah, and he loves them. He loves the Magic.
I mean,
and Brian Hill's great too. Like, first ever coach.
Brian Hill, Dante Marchitelli. They got a good crew. And who else does it? Richardson.
Yeah, next player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really
Bo
good.
Outlaw comes in from time to time. Yeah. They even had Lisa Leslie a couple years ago.
Yeah, she was awesome
until she took the WNBA role.
Yeah, but, I actually really liked when she was on.
She was pretty good. She gave some insight and stuff.
And Richardson's great. Like, he really is. Like,
Quentin Richardson. Yep. I couldn't think of his first name. But yeah, it's that the Magic are good about like the alumni. I mean, even when you go to a game, there's always alumni in the arena. Whether it's
a great night out. We were talking, about taking the kids and stuff this year and going.
I would love to go to opening night on October 25th. I have work obligations. I can't make it, but
Yeah, we'll be going. We'll be going to plenty of games.
still got this little thing called a job.
Yeah. Oh, we've even talked in the past about getting season tickets or even they do all kinds of great league passes and stuff
But you
like
can
that.
get tickets. I mean, unless like the Warriors or Lakers are coming in,
Like
you
we
can
love
get
to
a break.
do. Buy $15 nosebleed seats and go stand in the ozone.
Yeah.
Although when you sit in the lower bowl, there ain't anything better than that.
No,
It kind of spoils you a little
especially
bit.
last year, I got a couple treats sitting courtside. There's a specialty to that, but with the girls, taking the kids to it. My oldest daughter has really fallen in love.
Yeah,
with
she
the
was
Magic.
so awesome
And,
last year when we were watching that run.
Yeah, she is. She's all in, and she's probably more in tune sometimes than I am. Daddy, the game's on, and I'm like, oh man, they're playing tonight. Like,
They're in the playoffs last year. I forget what was on the other TV, but me and Brindley were in the spare bedroom.
I think we had a mix of Jaguars Magic going on. Yeah, and we're like, where we got to have one-on-one, But no, it's the basketball season's upon us. I mean, it's
here.
It's going to be here before you know it. We'll be having the Christmas Day games, and
As I said earlier, the dog days of summer are gone.
Yep, winter sports are starting.
Baseball's crowning.
Hockey's already in, 6-7 games into their season. It is happening.
Yeah,
Mid-season football.
NFL's
Thanksgiving is right around the corner.
NFL's about to get really good. You're starting to learn what teams are what. That the Lions game today was was something.
I love the Lions in that game.
The Lions are unbelievable, man.
They're really good, dude.
They're really good.
I mean, and the Vikings came back. They were down 28-17, came back 29-28.
Yeah.
And then
the Vikings are proving they're legit too. I mean, all of a sudden the NFC
Darnold, baby.
The NFC North is a fucking
They're all
buzzsaw.
good. They're all good. Yeah, the Packers, even the Bears 4-2. They were off today, but they're 4-2.
Yeah. That's a good division. I think people probably thought it was going to be good, but I don't think people saw the Vikings.
The thing that's deceiving about the NFC North is they haven't started to play each other yet.
They're just starting.
And
Today was a big one.
And that's the one misconception of that division is they haven't started to beat each other up yet.
Yeah. And it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming for sure. But man, there's been a lot since the last time we talked in our last episode. I mean, with hurricane crushing us, I was out of the country on a work trip, and a lot of things happened. But our last episode that we talked about, you guys got a little insight of a little passion that we have, and we appreciate all the feedback. We had so many people out there chime in and talk to us about what we talked about in our wrestling podcast in episode 5, which we have that passion for WWE wrestling, and it really came through with your guys' interaction and telling us that we were doing something right. And the things that we love and we're talking about that episode and where we're going down the future. Bad Blood, as an intermediate PLE, it was really good. I mean, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre put on a ridiculous Hell in a Cell match. I mean, what a great conclusion to that storyline that we questioned why they even worked with each other. Why CM Punk chose to go with Drew McIntyre but now we see that the Seth Rollins was in the waiting.
Oh yeah,
you can see that that's going to be a WrestleMania match. CM Punk, Seth Rollins. How they get there? They started it here. Do they have shenanigans at the Royal Rumble? Do they cost each other the Royal Rumble win? Like how do they portray that story? How do they get to that match?
And that's not.
There,
and that's not going to be around the belt either.
It's great. The thing that WWE is doing so good right now, and what makes Triple H so good at what he does,
great stories not around the belt.
There are so stories, and there's so good stories not around the belt, and also removing Cody Rhodes from the Bloodline story.
Yeah, that's going to be
like huge. I don't know how I feel about the whole Kevin Owens thing and Randy Orton and all this, and where they're going to go with this if they're leading to some kind of triple threat match at SummerSlam, at WrestleMania, Cody, KO, and Randy Orton, which I think that's the direction they're going. I don't know how they get there. But I feel like that's the direction. Cody, like, there's enough going on in the bloodline that Cody doesn't need to be near it right now.
Right.
I think maybe next WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
it comes.
Yeah.
But I think they have to solve a lot of things with the bloodline current situation.
Yeah, let the bloodline handle the bloodline.
Yeah.
Cody
the final boss showing up at Bad Blood.
Right.
And what was this thing where he gives the 1, 2, 3, and like, what did that mean?
Whoever knows what The Rock's doing.
I don't know what that means. Last night on SmackDown, they really I like kind of the direction. I saw Roman and Jimmy. They kind of had a comedic kind of thing to it, and I liked it. I like seeing that side of Roman.
Yeah,
because it was pretty cool, and they were talking about the wise man. They're talking about Jay,
and you're also going to see Roman turn a little bit babyface.
Oh, he's big time babyface.
Right.
I mean, he's turned. It's happened already.
Right. So you're going to start seeing probably a lighter side of him, even though he's still like,
I really like
original.
like the whole Uzi and stuff. Like I think Sammy's got to come back into the picture.
Sammy's got to be a part of it.
They got to come back in the picture. But they were talking, dude. I was reading this article about how many bloodline people in that family still are out there.
Oh, I'm sure
they haven't even.
Have you ever looked at the family tree?
I mean, is, I guess the next guy to come is Zilla Fatu, who is the next guy that may kind of buck the system. I think that wherever direction they're going to with Jimmy and Jay, that I think they've already started. I think Jay, tomorrow night on Raw, he's facing Braun Breaker for a rematch of the IC belt.
Yep.
I think that's the time to get. I love Jay got his moment, but Jay's got something else he's got to deal with. And I think they put the IC belt on Braun.
Yeah, because you're trying to build him.
Yeah, Braun can get that
he'll
back.
Be a two-time,
Jay had his moment.
He'll be a two-time IC belt holder now.
Jay had his moment.
Yep.
Now Jay's going to be thrust right back into the family thing.
The family
I think the bloodline thing is so huge leading up into War Games. The direction they go in War Games, I believe it's going to be the new bloodline versus, I don't know how they're going to get there, because how long are they going to prolong? Is Jay going to join? Is Jay not going to join? Or are they going to be like mystery partners and then Jay and Sammy show up? Like, how are they going to build that up? That's the only match that I even could give two shits about at Survivor Series. Gunther and Cody are probably going to have their great crown jewel deal.
Dude, I think that's actually I think that's an underrated thing, because them just having that match there, I'm a firm believer that Gunther's going to win the crown jewel.
Oh yeah, makes him stronger,
and it's going to make him stronger. It's going to put him over even more. That he's the number one heel in the company. Cody gets Cody still gets to have the belt. And you can pay off the KO, Orton, whatever they're going to do for this WrestleMania. But then you can still build the Gunther-Cody thing for next year.
You've got... that's a good theory, and I agree with you 100%. The thing that scares me is, who does Gunther face at WrestleMania?
Right, if Cody's...
If Seth is going to be tied up with CM Punk, if KO or Randy Orton are tied up with Cody... Who does that leave? You almost have to bring Drew back into the picture.
Right.
There's nobody else on the Raw roster, or Damian. But Damian is still tied up with his shit with Finn Balor.
They'll get that ended. Ended probably.
But that's a huge thing. That's your second belt.
Right.
You're going to have your first belt. Cody is going to be... I almost can see a triple threat happening with that. I think they're already building that. But who is there to face...
because they can tell the whole story of Randy and Cody's relationship. And
who is there to face Gunther at WrestleMania?
I think...
Who's going to win the Royal Rumble?
You're actually right about it. I think Damian Priest. That would be a good...
Who's going to win the Royal Rumble this year?
John Cena's going to win the Royal Rumble. He's coming back.
The last 2 years, it was inevitable that Cody was going to win. They had to set that up. Mm-hmm. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, they don't need to win the Royal Rumble because they're going to be in their own deal.
Right.
Who is going to be the person to win that Royal Rumble to go against Gunther?
Do you think LA Knight could get that push?
I mean, he's the U.S. champion. They have to get the belt off of him, and
Right.
there's really they have a great thing going on with LA Knight, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes, and it is they're getting ready for Game 7 or whatever. They're 3-on-3, and that.
What about the guy who's going with Seth right now? The one
Bronson Reed? I think it's great. The storyline's great with what they've done with him, and Bronson was a huge independent wrestler before he came here, and he's getting a shot. It's pretty cool that Seth is doing this because I can't imagine that they were close before this, and he really put Bronson over with taking all those moonsaults and all that stuff. But that's a big question mark. Who? I mean, my thought is Drew.
Yeah, you're going to need something.
Drew or
to do
Damien.
now.
Drew or Damien.
And that would make sense. The big guys, that'll be a good program. Either way.
I mean, there's nobody on the NXT
because they're going to have to get
roster that's ready
Damien
for
away
that.
from the Judgment Day officially here soon. That should pay off at SummerSlam.
I mean, it's kind of already paid off. I mean, it's kind of already paid off. But they're the other night, Finn was being like, "Oh, I need my rematch," but then Adam Pearce was like, "Oh no, you guys need to defend your titles that you haven't defended in over a month."
Right.
And it's it's I don't know where they go. The WrestleMania card, in my opinion, is way up in the air, with the exception of a couple matches.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do think that CM Punk Seth is a WrestleMania match. I really think that Roman The Rock is a WrestleMania match. Where does that leave Solo? Is he even on the WrestleMania card, or is he just in a support role for The Rock?
True.
Is or do they put something together with Jimmy and Jay against? Jacob. It's amazing where they could go with the Bloodline storyline.
It's a good problem. I mentioned this. They've got so many guys.
I mentioned this in
talent.
episode 5 about how we all laughed when Paul Heyman said that the Bloodline storyline is in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and oh my God, they might be in the bottom of the 3rd inning right now.
Right.
They're I was saying earlier. There's so many family members that haven't.
I don't think the Cody and Rock thing even pays off till 2026.
Really?
Well, so 2025 is.
So what do they do this year?
2025.
Well, no, I'm talking about Roman and Rock.
Right, Roman and Rock paying off this year.
Yeah.
But dude,
We don't even know what that.
Do you not remember?
Oh yeah, we remember.
What was in the pocket? What was in the So I'm saying they still have all this with the bloodline, and I mean not just the bloodline against each other, but the bloodline against.
Sure.
I mean Cody's still there. That story's still to be told, and like you said, if everything's mapped out this way already, that might not be paid off until 2 WrestleManias from now.
What are you doing with guys like Dominic? Is he just going to be wrapped up in the women's stuff? With Rhea and Liv? When is Rhea and Liv getting solved? Now that they've incorporated Rodriguez into the mix, when do they get rid of when does Tiffany Stratton cash in her Money in the Bank to take it from Nia Jax? And
is there a pay-per-view between Survivor Series and
Kenny? Premium live event.
Premium live event. That's right. Premium live event between Survivor Series and the Rumble.
Well, typically it was always Elimination Chamber.
Right.
But now I feel like everything's been pushed back a little bit, where I think Survivor Series is going to be pushed back a little bit.
Yeah, it's November 30th now, later than it normally would be.
And then Royal Rumble is typically January, and then that February pay-per-view is usually Elimination Chamber. I don't know. I haven't looked up to see what the schedule is, but I have a feeling Elimination Chamber is not happening this year. I remember seeing something that it wasn't on the schedule.
Because Survivor Series is a great pay-per-view, but it doesn't usually
Well, I like how they've changed it into War Games. Because
that's right.
The last few War Games matches, going back to...
So they're actually settling some stuff.
Yeah, last year with Randy Orton coming back.
Right.
That was his return and CM Punk showing up. 2 years ago, Sammy turning on KO, officially showing his loyalty to Roman.
Right.
That's this year, the way it's supposedly going to set up is going to be also another good one. To get away from your traditional Survivor Series matches, that were always what we grew up with, the 4-on-4 and stuff like that.
The
That was
best.
great.
It's
They
the
don't
best.
really have that. I'm glad that they got away from the Raw versus SmackDown stupid stuff that they were doing. And I really like they're keeping the War Games pay-per-view alive, the old WCW. And I think that this year it's totally setting up to be that
Tone
great
setter.
Yeah, it sets the tone for Royal Rumble. Right now, I would say that there's no clue on who's going to win the Royal Rumble because I don't think, Randy Orton or KO could win it and they're just going to pick Cody.
Right.
I would like to see somebody wild card that kind of surprises us all to go against Gunther. Because I think that's maybe Damian. Damian's kind of in line
the
for
Royal
that.
Rumble winner now.
Or Drew.
The Royal Rumble winner gets to choose
Which title he goes
whatever
for.
belt he wants
Yeah.
to go for. It's not necessarily like...
Yeah, technically he could go for the NXT belt if he really wanted to.
Right.
But because I remember last year they were teasing that someone was going to go for the Intercontinental belt at one point when Roman was unstoppable a couple years ago. But like if you think about, or when Seth was trying to elevate the U.S. title and things like that before they created the dual titles again. But if you think about, or is somebody going to come in from AEW? There's always surprise people, and like, well, how cool would it be if Jericho? I mean,
Yeah.
but I know, but it's like, what are they
Jericho,
going to do?
Even Ambrose, but you said Ambrose just
Yeah. Well, I would like to see. I'm very interested to see the program they put. What are they going to do with Gunther after Crown Jewel?
My whole thing with like when I was talking about Gunther and Cody at Crown Jewel is like this is a big that would be a big win for Gunther. He'll have that over Cody. Not that they have to jump right into that story, but say 6 months down the line, next summer when they need, then Gunther can come out and be like, I've already beat you once. I'm the Crown Jewel. I've got this belt.
Gunther's legit, dude.
Right. And you can play the whole
Or
American
here's
story
a
versus.
theory.
There's a lot they could do, and I think that would be awesome, and it'd be great for Cody as
Here's
well.
a theory to go back on our last podcast. What if a little guy by the name of Ludwig Kaiser wins the Royal Rumble?
You think they'd push him that quickly now?
I just think there's a story to be told there.
True.
Because I question where they go with Gunther even after Crown Jewel.
Right.
Your only people left are Drew, and Drew doesn't have a story because CM Punk is now going to be, that CM Punk story is closed.
And Damian, they're going to have that Judgment Day at some point.
Drew and Damian are the only people on that roster that would be in the Gunther, and Drew and Damian's already fought Gunther
on that level of
like in that main event level, and Damian's already fought Gunther.
Right.
And, SummerSlam, and that's where everything went down. And that's another way Damian can come back and be like, Finn helped you beat me.
Right. Yeah.
So there is that story. And then Drew gets stuck out to dry. What do you do with Drew? Does Brock Lesnar come back?
Yeah.
Brock and Gunther.
Dude, and like I said, I was joking with Cena winning the Rumble, but Cena's coming back. Like, it's his farewell tour. What are they going to do with him? Like, how is that going to be? Is he going to be the antithesis to The Rock? The final boss? With the bloodline story? Is he just going to come in and be just put everyone over? I could see Cena doing that, but I also don't see Cena not being around a main attraction. If he's coming back,
well, they could make.
He's not coming in to be.
Maybe he's the one that's going to come and go against Gunther.
True.
And maybe they create some kind of story with Drew and Damian. Like, I'm just trying to think of where all these guys go from here.
Yeah.
Like, you got a lot of people that you have to match up with other people.
You could do that with Cena and Gunther if they really push Gunther to just be in like.
Where do they go with the tag? Where do they go with the tag titles? Like Motor City Machine Guns making their WWE appearance after all these years being TNA wrestlers.
Right.
Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and they come out and now they're in the tag mix on the can.
And they're awesome.
And it's like, where do they go with the tag belts? How about the other night on Raw when the Viking Raiders actually came back as their their regular War Raiders deal. Like that's who they were in Ring of Honor and all these independent wrestlers. And now it's like Triple H is letting these guys come back to who they were and not giving them these stupid gimmicks that Vince McMahon gave them.
Yeah.
It's like, these are who these guys are. These are what made them famous. These are what made them everyday talking points when it comes to independent wrestling.
Isn't it great though to see like legit tag teams again instead of, man, remember that era where it was just like, let's put so and so and so and so together and they'll have the fucking belts, and they kind of started getting back to that again a little bit within these like little mini factions and the thing. But it's like, dude, I miss the days of like the Hart Foundation, the Demolition Man, the fucking
Road
the
Warriors.
Rockers, the Bushwhacker. I mean, that was when we were kids and shit. But
the Bushwhackers, man. The thing with I mean, that's why he did such a good job, Adam Pearce, with the whole, I'm going to create the tag tournament or whatever, because you have Judgment Day sitting on the belts that aren't defending anything, and you've got a lot of good tag teams. You got a lot of people on your roster, and tag teams eat those people up.
And not everyone can be a single. Like not everybody can be a single.
I mean, go back to look at all those great tag teams back in the day that end up like the Rockers, for instance. Shawn Michaels, superstardom. Marty Jannetty, done.
Yeah.
It's you either
Bret
can
Hart,
do it or you can't.
Bret Hart, Anvil Neidhart,
Done.
Bret Hart.
Yeah, they go they shoot,
and they end up, him and Shawn Michaels together end up going and leading that next era of wrestling. After
very rare do you see a lifelong tag team break up and have individual successful careers.
Both.
There's always one guy that is clearly the reason why they're going to break you up.
Even look at the Usos. Like Jay is so over compared to Jimmy, and Jimmy's great in his own right, but you see where the machine's behind. Jimmy's going to be Roman's deal, and Jay has found his way with the yeet and the has captured that. And you're right. It's always one that goes and one that doesn't.
Yeah, it always works out that way.
No,
and I don't know. They pair these guys up when they're young, and it's like, okay, this is the guy. This is the guy that's gonna do it. Like I think you're dealing with that with the Street Profits.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you've got one guy that's gonna have a very successful career, but he's getting held back. He's not getting his opportunity. Every time he has his opportunity, he's overperformed. And there's guys out there that have it, but then there's other guys that need a partner.
Right.
And
there's just some people that need that. Yeah.
It's just like coaches. Some guys got it, or some guys are good coordinators. Those who can't coach PE.
Those who can't teach, coach, and those who can't coach PE.
PE.
School of Rock.
Yeah. But no, man. I mean, I think the next couple weeks. I mean, Crown Jewel is such a weird pay-per-view. I mean, it's nice that they've added this little, but they just do whatever the Saudi Arabian prince wants them to do.
Pretty much.
It's like a fun fantasy show for him.
Yeah,
he's like, here's millions of dollars. You're going to do this,
and that's the thing about like thinking like, oh yeah, Cody will definitely win, or the champs will definitely win. They always have like different outcomes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what happens over there.
It's like it's not a throwaway event for them, but it kind of is. It's like they're making tons of money off of it. Yeah. They're going to go over there and put on a show.
The Saudi investment fund are paying them a bunch of money, and it's all nothing matters until Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So this is just a throwaway pay-per-view.
But WrestleMania season's almost upon us. So
when that sign starts coming up in the arenas.
Yeah.
Well, Royal Rumble is the kickoff.
Yeah.
I love the Royal Rumble. Still my favorite pay-per-view of all time. Every year I love the Royal Rumble.
We used to watch old Royal Rumbles all the time.
Oh, yeah, man. That's when it used to be 40 people.
Yeah.
Which I think they should go back to that because there's plenty of people on the roster. But now they do the men's and the women's, so it's a lot of time to eat up on a card.
And still have a couple like...
Yeah, because you're talking about
matches
an hour.
for the
you're talking
main
about
story.
2 hour-and-a-half matches.
Right.
And probably like 2 other regular events.
Just, something that they need to pay off.
But it's, we're getting there. We're not far away. I mean, but there's going to be some good stuff coming. Netflix is on the horizon. What is that going to change?
Yeah. I think you're going to see it a little bit more PG
A little bit more
Closer-
attitude era.
A little bit more attitude era because they're going to have free reign over there.
Yeah.
But
And we'll
you
see.
also still have to keep it.
Yeah, you still
have to keep it
still need
okay
the
for the
kids to
kids.
watch. You still need the kids to watch.
You know the line to cross.
Yep.
And if you have kids, be smart enough to guide them on like, hey, what this is, what this isn't, you know?
Yeah. Well, me and my daughter have gone back to watch the Monday Night Wars documentary. And it's just like to see what that was, you know, when they went to the reality-based storylines and you know, that initial takeover of the Outsiders and everything. Like I was trying to explain to my daughter how huge it was
To break kayfabe.
when Hulk Hogan turned heel and was the third man. Like that was devastating to the world because you had grown up worshiping the vitamins, the prayers, everything there was.
Hulk Hogan was
and
everything
he turned
to me.
on a dime. I was there that night in the Ocean Center when he turned.
Yeah.
And the amount of stuff that was thrown in that ring was actually quite frightful.
Yeah.
Like, but Hulk Hogan even said it when that stuff was coming in the rings. He goes, "I knew that we had struck gold."
Oh, he's running down to save Macho because he didn't show up. And you think, and then he drops the leg. And you're like, what the fuck just happened,
I get
dude?
goosebumps just thinking about the greatest moment. And that's why, like, in our last podcast, when we talked about the Bloodline being the greatest storyline since the NWO, the NWO storyline was is the greatest storyline. And it was the first time that, you know, Eric Bischoff had turned foot wrestling storylines into reality based.
You didn't know what was real and what wasn't.
And that's what made it so great. You had two guys showing up
when
on
the
WC.
Outsiders showed up, you thought they were still working for WWE.
Lex Luger shows up on the first night because
so
it was
sick.
taped and he was out of contract.
And Bischoff tells him, he's like, you can't say anything for the next few weeks until your contract's up, and then I'm going to have you appear
And
on...
who is it? Lexa or
Dude, in that Monday Nitro, wasn't that in the Minneapolis Mall?
Minneapolis
The Mall of America.
Yeah, it was the first ever live Nitro.
Yeah.
And who was the girl, the women's champion that showed up and threw the women's title in the trash? Like, these things were happening, and as a fan, you'd never seen anything like it, and you were just like, is this real? Is this fake? And that's what started wrestling is to it today, because you will see something on TV and you're like, is this a work or a shoot? Like,
right. Well, it's basically like, I mean, Bischoff was basically doing to Vince what Vince had done to all the territories back in the day before, you know, he'd go in and take, he'd take this territory's main guy.
Vince was
take
like,
this
territories?
So,
what?
Yeah. Bischoff ends up doing that. And he's like, oh, they don't want him over here anymore? We'll take, you know, and then he did it in such a brilliant way that, like I mean, I've always known, I've known since I was a young kid that, I mean, it took me a little while because I did think it was real up to like 8, 9 years old, but like,
well, don't get it wrong there, KT. It's the action is real. The outcomes are just
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
these guys are still putting together.
Oh yeah.
And don't ever say the fake word. You might get knocked out like that reporter did. But it's like that's what's so great about wrestling. Like, people want to call it fake. It's not fake. The outcomes are predetermined.
Right.
It's a story.
Right.
It's a story. And until you experience that emotion, and that's what makes great storytelling, is when they can have a match and you're so invested and you want to see someone win because they've told a great story leading up to that point.
Yep.
And
dude, professional wrestling, like WWE, this is my first love. Like, over any sports team, like, I started when I was like 3 years old, 4 years old.
They don't hurt you like the Jags do they?
They don't.
Well, maybe.
They do, but you're always waiting for that payoff, and they always pay it off.
Yeah.
They always pay it off.
The Jaguars never pay it off.
The Jaguars never pay it off. They get close. They never pay off. There's never a finish.
They're waiting for the heel turn.
Yeah. Jesus.
You know what's going to be great, speaking of heel turns, is when Cody turns heel. It's going to be the greatest heel turn of all time.
It will be.
It's going to be, and he's going to go out there and he's going to shit on the fans. It's going to be the greatest heel turn.
And he'll do it like, you know, like Cena never wanted to do it. Cody's the kind of guy that will do it because his dad was a heel. Like at points in time, he's went back and forth.
When he turns heel, it's going to be.
And Cody loves the business so much.
It's going to be like when Hogan did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to turn heel, and it's going to be epic. And he's going to come out, and he's going to shit on the fans, and he's like, "Where were you when I was Stardust? Where were you when I left this company?" It's all written already for him. He's like, "You didn't care about me when I had to paint my face every night."
Elevate him to another level.
Yeah, and he's going to be like, "You weren't around when I had to paint my face every night and come out, and you guys didn't care about me. You didn't care about me. You didn't care about when I walked out the door."
Glitter bullshit.
Oh, dude, it's going to be epic, man. It's going to be epic. Yep. It really is.
And all the people he's been like Triple H, Randy, even Flair, even though Flair's not around anymore, but like there's all kinds of people he's had to deal with that like he can. You're right, dude. That'll be fucking awesome.
It's coming.
If they ever do it.
It's coming. It might be, he's got to pay off the whole bloodline thing, but like it's coming. Like he's going to turn heel, and it's going to be fantastic.
Especially with that name, the American Nightmare. I mean, it says it already. The American Nightmare says like everything he's done has been building to that moment.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be great.
And I think like you've said it before. I forget who you said it, but like becoming a heel, I think, is more over.
We said it last
than
time,
ever being a face.
Triple H said it.
Yeah,
when he was
like,
on.
That's the epitome of like you being.
Yeah, he was on David Letterman one night back in the day, and they were talking about the industry, and he was like, "It's really easy to be cheered, but it's very difficult to be booed," and that's why I think the best heel. That's why Dominic is so good.
Yeah,
so good. He's so good. And
when they have that much hatred for you.
Yeah, that's when you're doing your job, and that's why I think like. When Cody does pull it off, I mean, the whole script is written.
Yeah.
The whole, where were you when I was Stardust? Where were you when I was wearing a mask? Where were you when I was in Legacy? You guys didn't have my back, and now I come back and you have my back.
That's right. He had the whole broken face, nose. Yeah.
Like it's there. It's there. And it'll probably be involved with something with The Rock whenever they have their thing. But it'll be
like where he has to go to like.
Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah.
Because there's already moments now where I kind of there's already things that Cody does now that you're like, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. It is just like kind of like a little precursor to everything. But I think when that happens, it's going to be epic, and it's going to happen. You're not going to stay heel or face your whole career.
No, and
just like Gunther's going to turn face.
And the thing, like, I love Cody and I love like the whole story and everything, but it's like he's not like he's not like a John Cena that's like was so over at one. Like
he's not like a
Hogan,
eat
like
your Fruity Pebbles type guy, or take your vitamins and say your prayers.
Right.
He's a good guy because of what he overcame and how he came back.
That's what makes him
people love that.
That's
story.
what makes him a face compared to like just like really truly like.
Eat your vitamins and say your prayers.
Just like wanting to like completely be like, I'm Cody till the day I die. It's like, no, Cody could piss you off if when he decides he wants to.
Yeah, and
like,
he will. Yeah, and that's what's going to be epic. We're probably a couple years from that, but it's going to be epic.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome.
Like just like right now, you never thought that you'd be rooting for Roman again, and now we are.
Right.
To probably bigger than you've ever done.
Yeah.
And it's just that's all Triple H.
Seth dances back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be,
awesome.
Gunther's going to turn face.
Yep.
I like Gunther.
Yep.
I mean, I think he's going to be good. Yeah, but don't, keep my long shot prediction of Ludwig Kaiser winning the Royal Rumble. That could be really good because he's going to be like, oh, you're not going to go for me.
Right.
Oh, it's like the whole Batista thing.
Right.
And Batista gives him the thumbs down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Very good stuff.
But KT, we're 7 minutes to first pitch.
Yeah, man.
It's big night tonight. Don't mean to cut it. Well, we actually went kind of long. When we get talking about WWE, it goes forever, dude. We can talk forever. I hope you guys like this shit. But no, we're happy to be back. We've had a rough week with the hurricane. KT, we had to take a week off, but we're back, and every week coming again. Episode 6, man.
Yeah. Good to be back with you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, please keep watching the clips and liking us and commenting.
Subscribe.
We love the interaction. Subscribe, give us a rating, 5 stars. And in the great words of Jackie Moon,
Everybody love everybody.
ELE, baby. See you next time. Peace.